The Dallas Cowboys got steamrolled by the Buffalo Bills last Sunday, and it was tough to watch on film. And when you're thinking about guys like Mozzie Smith, a guy that plays that one technique position, you would think that we were taking that next step, being more productive at stopping the run this season. But we all know that it takes time with some of these players. That's why we re-signed Jonathan Hankins. And when you're looking at a guy like Damone Clark, he is another guy that we brought in here to solidify our front seven, who has made some plays this year. But these guys, as well as the entire defense, still have things to figure out if we're going to take that next step to getting to where we want to go. So when you're taking a look at this play here, James Cook is going to be getting the ball. They're going to be giving them the draw to the right side. And they was running this guy all throughout the game. And when you look at the tackle number 73, they're going to be pulling him to the right side, and he's going to attack Damone Clark. And with number 79, they're going to double team block Osa Odigizua, and he's going to get to that second level to get to Marquise Bell. And when you're looking at these type of plays, we got to understand that these type of teams, they like to get these tackles on the move, and you do not want to get sucked into blocks. So having guys like Damone Clark, you have to pay attention to things like that. Mozzie Smith being able to make tackles, and everybody on the defensive line just understand what everybody on the entire defense is doing. If these guys can be able to do that, they'll be good, but they cannot be overly aggressive when it comes down to these plays like this. So we'll run this play. As you can see, James Cook gets the ball, and you see that pulling tackle going to the right side. And with Damone Clark, he's so focused in on that tackle that he didn't really pay attention to what was going on with the running back. If he would have closed in on that B gap, he could have stopped James Cook, or Mozzie Smith could have got that tackle. But the thing is, Mozzie Smith ended up missing that tackle. Usually when you miss that tackle on the first and second level, sometimes that can be trouble when it comes down to the secondary. And that's exactly what happened on his play. So just making sure that you're playing with gap integrity and just understanding what these running backs are doing is going to be critical down the stretch once we get down to the big games. Micah Parsons has been held a lot this season, and the thing is, a lot of these calls are not being made, but you have to make sure that you finish these plays regardless if these flags are called. So you got James Cook, he's going to be getting the ball to the left side, and their tackle number 79, he's going to be pulling to the left, and he's going to be attacking Jordan Lewis. And they love to get to the second level. Their center, they're going to try to attack Marquise Bell, as well as the running back, he's going to get to Damone Clark at the second level. This is the type of team they like to try to play bully ball. If a team knows that they can be able to run on you throughout the whole game, they will continue to do it until you stop it. But seeing Micah Parsons on this play and how he reacted to this play is not a good look, and he has to finish these plays all the way through the whistle. So we'll run his play. Keying in on number 73 to tackle. He's kind of winding with his left hand, and he strikes Micah Parsons with his left hand in his face mask. And the thing that's so crazy is Micah Parsons, he flops. It's so funny that he flops like that, guys. I mean, he looks like LeBron James flopping like that. You don't want to do things like that because there's still a play that's being played right now. And keying in on the referee like that and not paying attention to what James Cook is doing, you got to hold these guys accountable, regardless if it's Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. These guys got to step up. If these referees are not calling the plays on Micah Parsons, you still got to be able to finish. You cannot have any excuses and go out there and just do your job, because any given play can determine the outcome in these games. So on this play here, they're going to be running an RPO, and number 26 is going to be getting the ball. You got Damone Clark. He's going to be on the edge, and he's going to be shooting on the outside, and they're going to have that pulling tackle going to the right side to make the defense believe that Josh Allen could potentially get the ball. But the thing is, having gap integrity is very important. You cannot shoot through gaps. You cannot play hero ball in Dan Quinn's type of scheme, because usually whenever that happens, if you cannot read and diagnose these plays, you'll get washed out of plays. And usually that's when the offense gets a big game. So seeing plays like this, Damone Clark, he has to pay attention to the little things. So we'll run this play. You see Damone Clark, he's shooting right at the quarterback, and he is not paying any attention to the running back. I mean, he literally passed the running back and got completely washed out of the play. When it comes down to that run pass option, you got to pay attention to the little things, just being able to see it before you react, because if not, this is how these teams can be able to get chunk plays and score. I know that Damone Clark is a very, very good athlete, and he has stopped these type of plays before, but you have to do this on a consistent basis, especially if he's going to gain the coach's trust. Setting the edge is a very important thing when it comes down to Dan Quinn's scheme. So on this play here, you got James Cook. He's going to be getting the ball to the left side. Their tackle, he's going to be pulling to the left side, and he's going to attack Dorrance Armstrong. And making sure that the running back does not shoot to the outside is critical, because you're looking at situations here with Jaron Kearse. We know that he is not the most most athletic player, and you do not want this guy on the island going up against James Cook. Sometimes it can be a personnel issue or it can be a coaching issue as well. So when you're seeing plays like this and seeing Dorrance Armstrong not being able to set the edge, this is how our safeties are forced to be going one-on-one against these guys on the outside. And this is what we don't want to happen. So we'll run this play. James Cook gets the ball, and you see the tackle he's pulling. But Cannon on Dorrance Armstrong, he sucks right into the block. He's not torquing his body and keeping his outside arm free to be able to close out the outside. And it forced Javon Curse to be on the island against James Cook. And that's not a good look at all, Cowboys Nation. You want to make sure you do the basic things. We'll run this play in real time so you guys can be able to see it. But you want to be able to do the basic things, making sure these guys are not getting to the second level, sealing the edge. A lot of these things are going to be important. And the linebackers that we have on this team, they are undersized. So making sure you're doing little things like that, because the thing is about these guys in the linebacker position, they can tend to get washed out of plays because they're not that big. Dan Quinn loves to be able to convert his safeties to linebackers. So making sure that you got the proper one technique, making sure that these guys are sealing the edges, and just doing the little things is going to be huge if you're going to become an elite defense. So on this final play here is going to be a pitch to the right, and pre-snap alignments is very, very critical when it comes down to the defense, because the better offenses, once they see a hole, if you're not aligned right, they can be able to exploit it quickly. So number 85, he's going to be doing a crackback block, and their tackle, their fullback, and that running back, they're going to be shooting out in space, and they're going to be leading the way for this pitch play. But if you see the gap right here where Wanye Thomas is, this is the area where they're targeting. So just making sure that you have your pre-snap alignments right, making sure that you can be able to have leverage just in case these guys are trying to run pitch plays, those misdirection plays to try to get guys in space. So we got to make sure that we're on top of these type of reps. So we'll go ahead and run it. He's getting a pitch right now, and just seeing all of the blockers that they got out of there. I mean, you can count all of these guys. That's three guys that's out there in space. And usually these running backs, they love to have situations like that where they can get in space and they have all these guys that's leading the way. And you can see right here that everybody is getting attacked right now. And this guy, I mean, he didn't read the right hole. If he would have cut inside, he would have probably stressed out Wanye Thomas. But the thing is, just making sure that everybody is on point. I did like to see those guys rally to the ball. And the good thing about the Dallas Cowboys defense, we've seen these guys play so much better. But when you're playing against these bigger teams, you have to be on top of little things like that. If they know that they can continue to keep running the ball, that's exactly what these guys are going to keep doing. But it was definitely tough watching this film. But we have to run this stuff. We cannot just do the good plays. We got to do the bad plays as well, because the Dallas Cowboys, they have a lot of work to do, regardless if it's the defensive line, the linebackers. We know that these linebackers are not the biggest guys. So making sure that you have a proper one technique to be able to stuff the A and B gaps, allowing your linebackers to roam. You want to keep those guys clean, making sure that these guys can be able to set the edge. If they can continue to keep doing that, these guys can be fine. But there are no excuses when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys, because there are a lot of athletes on this team. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's about to be playoffs soon. We got the Miami Dolphins coming up, and let's see if these guys are going to be ready for the test. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the way the YouTube algorithm works, If you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire live streams and unique breakdowns. All right, Cowboys Nation. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.